I have ventured out here today to the Frank Franz NPR to observe a very special species. We'll go in now. No, we won't stand too close. We don't want to frighten them. Look. There's one now. A wild Morgan. We've been waiting here for 3 hours, and now we can finally see the active population of Morgans. Let's observe.
Ah, yes. The Morgans are quite a remarkable species. As you can see, they are a variety of colors. Males are blue and females are white. They are currently feeding and grooming. If we're lucky, we will see what we have come out here for today. Morgana morganus is commonly known as a Morgan. The Morgan species is quite an interesting one. Such sexual dimorphism, as you can see. The males are much more colorful than the females. This also indicates polygyny, when one male mates with many females. We are all about to witness what I have come out here for today, one of nature's many wonders, the fascinating mating ritual of the Morgan species. Observe as the female approaches the male. The male shows off his blue color, fighting to get her to notice that he is the truest blue of them all. She paces back and forth, looking the males up and down. And it begins, the courtship ritual. The male begins to do an intricate dance to attract the female's attention. She approaches one. Her preference is charger blue. Female preference may indicate that the male is genetically healthy and therefore able to support such beautiful traits like blueness and the ability to dance so gracefully. She will select a mate with these traits so that she will be able to produce offspring that are also healthy and able to support these traits. Watch as she examines him. She chooses him by sticking out her left limb and touching his elbow, giving her permission to be her mate. And through the beauty of nature, they mate. In 75 seconds, the young will hatch. As you can see, the male young have similar coloring to their father, but not all of them are the true shade of charger blue. This is due to genetic variation. For a moment, let's focus on the female young. This one here, she makes eye contact with her father and follows him, learning to walk and stand straight. This is a very critical period of time in which the female Morgan imprints on her father. This will be very important later. Now let us use our time machine and skip ahead a generation. We will observe what happens when these young are mature. Similar to the previous generation, there is genetic diversity. As you can see, there are still a few Morgans who do not have the proper charger blue shirt color. However, you can see that the number has significantly decreased from the last generation. The trait of charger blue is becoming more prominent. As you can see, the mating ritual is about to begin once again. Note any changes from the previous generation. Not only do the male Morgans have a darker color, closer to the female preference, but they also are doing the dance much stronger and more accurately. More females are attracted to them. Pay close attention to the female that we observed imprinting on her father during the last generation. She currently has her eyes on a mate who has very similar coloring to her father. Female young who imprint on their fathers are much more likely to select a mate with similar traits to their father. This helps to advance female preference. The idea is that their mother selected a mate with these traits, so the mate must have been healthy, and therefore these traits are ideal for the next generation of offspring. We will now use our time machine once again to observe the third generation of this population. As you can see, there are almost no individuals who have a trait that is undesirable. Those that had genes that produced a dark or light blue shirt have been eliminated from the population because they were not selected by a female to mate with, and they have not produced any offspring. This has allowed the dark blue trait to become fixed in this population. As we observe the mating ritual one last time for this final generation, I would like you to keep in mind that a significant amount of time has passed during these 3 generations. Although we sped up time, it is important to remember that the elimination and fixation of one trait happens over years and years. It is also important to remember that this is an ideal case. In this population, there is very little genetic variation. Keeping these things in mind, observe as these 2 individuals mate. They will produce 3 healthy offspring. The males have the ideal charger blue trait. The female will no doubt imprint on her father and select a mate with similar color once again, furthering the fixation of the Charger Blue trait within this Morgan population.
What we have just observed is a marvelous, if not almost perfect, example of intersexual selection. Intersexual selection is when one sex, in this case the female, selects a mate based on a certain trait. In this case, the male had the trait of having a Charger Blue shirt and doing the chicken dance.
This female preference is shown when the male does the courtship ritual and she decides who does it the best, and it's based on, she does that because of the good gene hypothesis, which states that if a male or female can support this trait, then they have enough energy to support a family, so they're in good health.
Due to sexual selection, there's been a main morphological and behavioral change. Behavioral change would be the ones that perform the chicken dance better survived, and the morphological change would be whoever had the more Charger Blue shirt, and the fittest survived.
In the beginning of the video, due to recombination and genetic drift, you can see that people possessed more variation within color shirts and the ability to do the chicken dance. However, as time went on, we used our time machine and we sped forward through generations. And at the end of that generation, we saw that the individuals with the dark blue shirts and only the people who could do the chicken dance effectively were able to mate and produce offspring. As time went on, that dark blue shirt fixed, and in the final generation, we only had dark blue shirts.
Yay!